Hello everyone and welcome to the lecture on Amazon RDS, Relational Database Service. So Amazon Relational Database Service, first, it's a managed relational database service, and Amazon RDS simplifies the setup, operation and scaling of relational databases in the cloud, reducing administrative overhead. Second, supports multiple database engines. RDS offers support for popular database engines such as Amazon Aurora, MySQL, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, Oracle, and Microsoft SQL Server. Third, automates provisioning, patching, and backups. RDS automates time-consuming tasks like database provisioning, software patching, backup, and recovery, allowing developers to focus on application development. Fourth, scalable vertically and horizontally. Users can easily scale their database resources vertically by changing the instance size, or horizontally by adding read replicas to handle increased traffic and storage needs. So just remember, we can scale in both ways, like by changing the instance size, which will affect the CPU or memory, or horizontally by adding more nodes. Fifth, secure with network isolation and encryption. RDS provides security features such as network isolation using Amazon VPC, encryption at rest using AWS KMS, and encryption in transit using SSL TLS. Sixth, integration with Amazon CloudWatch for monitoring. RDS seamlessly integrates with Amazon CloudWatch, enabling users to monitor and track various metrics like CPU utilization, memory usage, and I/O operations. Seventh, cost-effective pay-as-you-go pricing. With RDS, users only pay for the resources they consume, benefiting from cost effectiveness and scalability of the AWS cloud. Okay, this is the high level diagram. So herein you can connect your application to any of the 7 supported Amazon RDS database engines, and then RDS, some managed features of RDS is like security and compliance. So you have built-in security features and compliance certifications, performance and scalability, so easily you can scale compute and storage resources as you need. There is automated patching and upgrades. So RDS automates database software patching, monitoring and alert. So you can track key metrics and set alarms to proactively monitor your databases. Sixth, backup and recovery. You can have automated backups and point-in-time recovery to protect your data. And then you can, so the benefits are, you can focus on innovation and migrate without re-architecting your applications. So you can migrate smoothly to the AWS cloud and spend less time on repetitive database administrative tasks because of managed service. And finally, you can deliver more value by improving database and infrastructure efficiency and decrease capital and operational expenses. So just to repeat, the 7 database engines are DB2, Microsoft SQL Server, MariaDB, MySQL, PostgreSQL. Sixth, Oracle, and Amazon Aurora have 2 flavors: Amazon Aurora PostgreSQL compatible, and one more, Amazon Aurora MySQL compatible. So total 7, but this one is into 2, like one is PostgreSQL compatibility and one is MySQL compatibility. Okay, next is we'll compare the on-premises database versus database on EC2. So let's say you have an on-prem database and then you install database on an EC2. So what are the what feature comparison we can see? So first is application optimization. So in both the cases, customer is required to optimize. Second, scaling. Anyway, customer is required. So this will be very similar because basically you have EC2 and you are installing on the cloud, but it's basically it's like a machine on which you install MySQL or PostgreSQL. So high availability, all are customer responsibility. Database backups, database software patching, database software install, operating system patching, OS installation, and server maintenance. So only server maintenance comes to Amazon AWS, because they will take care of server maintenance. And hardware lifecycle, because AWS owns the hardware, so they will take care of hardware lifecycle management, so you will not see any physical hardware. And server maintenance in the cells, the backend server maintenance. And then power, network and cooling, so that is also comes to the AWS. So you just have 3 benefits if you install on EC2. But actual point is to compare EC2 with RDS. So this is the last, so let's say RDS is like maximum into the cloud because you are using a managed service instead of installing on EC2. So let's do a feature comparison. So application optimization, anyway, this is for both customer responsibility, even whether it's on EC2 or RDS. Scaling, so scaling, in this case you have to install extra EC2, or vertically if you want to scale, you have to change the machine type. So this comes to customer, but in this case, because our managed service, our AWS takes care of scaling, automatic scaling. Then high availability, again AWS will take care. And database backups, AWS, so you just have to configure policy and all, and there are default backups also, so AWS takes care. Again, software patching, AWS takes care. Software installed, AWS. OS patching, because we don't see any operating system, AWS takes care. This also AWS takes care. OS installation. Server maintenance, okay, so this only will be similar, AWS, because server maintenance of EC2 is also taken care by AWS. And hardware lifecycle is both AWS. And finally power, network and cooling, so this also takes care. These three will be similar, so you get maximum benefit by using RDS service. Okay, Amazon RDS shared responsibility model. So Amazon RDS hosts DB instances on clusters. So Amazon RDS is responsible for hosting the software components and infrastructure of DB instances and DB clusters, ensuring their availability and performance. So customer responsible for query tuning. As a customer, you are responsible for query tuning, which is the process of adjusting SQL queries to improve performance and optimize the database efficiency. Then third, query performance depends on database design, data size and workload. So the query performance is highly dependent on factors such as database design, data size, data distribution, application workload and query patterns, which can vary greatly between different use cases. And fourth, monitoring and tuning are customer owned processes. So monitoring and tuning are highly individualized process that you as a customer own for your RDS databases, and it is essential to regularly assess and optimize your database performance. And fifth, Amazon RDS Performance Insights helps identify problematic queries. So there's a feature you can use Amazon RDS Performance Insights and other tools to identify problematic queries and gather insights into your database performance, helping you make informed decisions for optimization. Okay, let's see what is Amazon RDS DB instances. So you can think of a DB instance as a database environment in the cloud with the compute and a storage resources you specify. So it's like just think of like a machine, but you don't directly see a machine. So it's called an instance. And you can create and delete DB instances, define, refine infrastructure attributes of your DB instances, and control access and security. So first, isolated database environments. DB instances are isolated database environments running in the cloud, allowing multiple databases to be created and accessed. So on a single DB instance, you can create multiple databases. For example, MySQL, you can create a test database. So it's basically database as in database technology, like database what we call test, root database, production database. So second, pre-configured parameters and security. So each DB instance includes a pre-configured database server with parameters and security optimized for the entire instance class. So whatever you configure for the DB instance, it's for, and that would be shared across multiple databases which are part of that particular DB instance. So user created databases stored. So DB instances store user created databases which can be created using Amazon RDS API, CLI or management console. Fourth, connect using database specific protocols. Applications connect to the database instance using database specific protocols such as MySQL or PostgreSQL. Then fifth, capacity defined by the instance class. So instance class will decide what is the capacity. So the computation and memory capacity of a DB instance is determined by its instance class, with options ranging from small to extra large. So run in VPC for enhanced security. DB instances run in an Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, VPC. So private, just remember, so that's why private. So it will run privately, providing enhanced control over the virtual networking environment. So this option is there, like you can run in VPC or you can expose a public endpoint also, but usually your EC2 instances will be running in VPC, so you can connect EC2 with databases privately over the private network. And seventh, monitor using CloudWatch and Performance Insights. So both the tools, CloudWatch and Performance Insights, can be used to monitor DB instances and track metrics and identify performance bottlenecks. Okay, now understanding DB instances classes. So there are classes for DB instance when you create a DB instance. So determines computation and memory capacity. The DB instance class determines the computation and memory capacity of a Amazon RDS DB instance, which directly impacts the performance. Selection based on processing power and memory needs. Choosing the appropriate DB instance depends on your specific processing power and memory requirements for your workload. It consists of instance class type and size. A DB instance class is composed of both the instance class type. For example, we can have db.r6g and the size, which can be, let's say, large, 2x large, which allows for fine-grained resource allocation. So I'll show you all the DB instance classes. So some example, for example, db.r6g.2x large. So this is for memory optimized. So DB you can ignore, but R6G is like version, the family, and R is memory optimized, and the size 2x large. So an example of DB instance class is this one, which is memory optimized instance powered by AWS Graviton. So G is for Graviton processors with a size of 2x large. So memory optimized R and G is Graviton, and 6 is the version. And this can be small, medium, large, but usually it starts from large and all. Okay, DB instance class types for various use cases. So we'll see different class types. One is general purpose instances for balanced workloads. General purpose DB instance classes such as db.m6g and db.m5 provide a balance of compute, memory, and network resources suitable for a wide range of workloads. Then we have memory optimized instances for memory intensive applications. So memory optimized DB instances classes like db.r6g and db.x2g are designed for memory intensive applications offering high memory capacity and performance. Then we have another class which is burstable performance instances with baseline and burst capabilities. Burstable performance, so just this word itself, burstable, means it can provide very short-lived high performance, but it cannot be sustained for longer period. So burstable performance DB instance classes such as db.t4g and db.t3 provide a baseline performance level with the ability to burst to full CPU usage when needed. And optimized reads instances for read heavy workloads. Optimized reads DB instance classes like db.r6gd and db.r6id are optimized for read heavy workloads, offering high memory capacity and local NVMe based SSD storage for fast read performance. Okay, we'll see some DB instances classes for general purpose. So I'll quickly walk you through. So first, let's say dbm7g. So G is Graviton. So this one is powered by AWS own Graviton processor, and this is for delivering balanced compute, memory, and networking. Then we have db.m6g. So this is also this is powered by AWS Graviton 2 processors, and this also offers balanced resources and general purpose workloads. Then we have db.m6i, so powered by 3rd generation Intel Xeon scalable processors. This I is for Intel, so G is for Graviton, and this is powered by 3rd gen Intel Xeon scalable processors. Then we have db.m5, so this is for balanced compute, memory, and network resources, and it provides a balance of again compute, memory, and network resources, and this is based on NVMe based SSD storage. Then db.m4, and then we have db.m3. Okay, these are some of the existing popular commonly used general purpose DB instance classes. Then we'll see some memory optimized. So just I'll quickly run you through. So this one has db.z 1d, and this one high compute and memory up to 4 gigahertz. Okay, and then we have db.x2g, and but because this one is powered by AWS Graviton, low cost GB byte the price ratio. And next we have dbx2i. This is up to 3.8 terabyte local NVMe SSD 100 Gbps network. Then I'll just quickly show you on the screen. You can pause and take a look. Okay, so these are all the memory optimized. So you can see a pattern G and then I for Intel Xeon, and based on the nomenclature, it's for different purpose. Whichever does not have G, they are like the generic ones. Okay, next is bus table performance and optimize reach database instance classes. Then you have again, this one is db.t4g. This one has T, and again powered by AWS Graviton, and this offers better price performance ratio. Then db.t3 for baseline performance. Then db.t2, this one is R6GD, and it's similar but it's ideal for memory intensive workloads. And finally we have db.r6id. So this one is Intel Xeon SAP certified. Okay, next we'll see Amazon RDS DB instance storage. Now we are moving to instance storage. So there are three storage types: general purpose SSD, provision IOPS SSD, and magnetic. Amazon RDS three storage types for different performance and cost requirements. First, general purpose SSD, also in technical you will refer to it as GP2 for all like technical reference, and it's suitable for most workloads up to 65,536 GB byte. Is the default storage type, and this offers a balance of price and performance, suitable for most workloads, and maximum storage 65,536. Then we have provision IOPS SSD, referred to as IO1. It's a high performance option up to 65,536 GB byte. Provision IOPS SSD IO1 is designed for IO intensive workloads that require high performance. Then fourth we have magnetic, and it's cost effective for infrequently accessed data. So it's not very frequently, otherwise you will use general purpose provision. Same size, magnetic storage is cost effective option for infrequently accessed data. Okay, then we have storage auto scaling, automatically adjust storage scaling capacity. Amazon RDS can automatically increase storage capacity when the free space is less than 10% of the allocated storage, and this will ensure the database has sufficient space to grow. Sixth, encryption, protect data at rest and in transit. So RDS supports encryption at rest using AWS Key Management Service KMS, and encryption in transit using SSL TLS. Then seventh, billing. So pay only for storage used on a per second basis. With Amazon RDS, you pay only for the storage you used on a per second basis. So allows for cost optimization and flexibility. Now we'll see all the features of RDS. So these features will cover blue-green deployments, cross-region automated backups, cross-region read replicas, database activity streams, dual stack mode, export snapshots to S3, IAM database authentication, Kerberos authentication, multi-AZ DB clusters, performance insights, RDS custom, Amazon RDS proxy, secrets manager integration, and zero ETL integration with Amazon Redshift. Okay, this one is actually preview feature, but this just to know, but this is not, so we'll not cover this because it's still in preview. Okay, first is Amazon RDS blue-green deployments. So create a staging environment green with Amazon RDS blue-green deployments. You start by creating a staging environment known as the green environment, which is a copy of your current production database. Then current production environment blue. The current production environment referred to as blue continue to serve live traffic while you make changes in the green environment. Make changes and test in green environment. In the green environment, you can apply database schema changes, upgrade database versions, or perform other modification. Thoroughly test your changes without impacting the production. Then fourth, promote green environment to production. So once you have validated in the green, you can promote it to become new production environment. Fifth, switch traffic with DNS updates. To switch traffic to the new production, you update the DNS records to point to the green environment's endpoints, and this will ensure a smooth transition. Sixth, easily roll back if issue arises. So if you detect any issues, you can quickly roll back to the previous blue by updating the DNS records again. Seventh, minimize downtime and risk during updates. So Amazon Blue Green help minimize downtime and risk during database updates by providing this staged approach. Okay, next feature is cross-region automated backups. So automated backup replication to another region. So cross-region automated backups automatically replicate database backups to another AWS region, which provides a layer of protection and disaster recovery. Continuous replication with low latency. The replication process is continuous and operates with low latency, ensuring that the backups in the destination region are up to date and minimize potential data loss. Third, encryption using KMS key of destination region. Backups are encrypted using the AWS key management service of the destination region, ensuring data security and compliance with regional requirements. Fourth, independent backup retention period up to 35 days. The backup retention period in the destination region can be set independently, which allows for different retention policies compared to the source region. The maximum retention period is 35 days. Fifth, supports most RDS engines and storage types. Cross-region automated backups are supported for most RDS database engines, including MySQL, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, Oracle, and SQL Server, as well as storage types like general purpose SSD and provisioned IOPS SSD. Sixth, pay only for backup storage and cross-region data transfer. With cross-region automated backups, you only pay for the backup storage consumed in the destination region and the cross-region data transfer fees. Seventh, easy setup and management through AWS Management Console. So setting up and managing cross-region automated backups is straightforward using the Management Console. You can enable the feature, specify the destination region, and configure backup settings with just a few clicks. Next, we will discuss cross-region read replicas. Replicate database across different AWS regions. Cross-region read replicas. So that was backups earlier, and now it's read replicas. Cross-region allows you to create read-only copies of your database in different AWS region, providing geographical distribution and improved disaster recovery capabilities. Second, asynchronous replication with low latency. The replication process is asynchronous and operates with low latency, ensuring that the read replicas are kept up to date with primary database while minimizing the impact on performance. Third, secure data transfer using encryption. Data transferred between the primary database and the read replicas is automatically encrypted using SSL, ensuring the security and confidentiality of your data. Fourth, supports multiple read replicas per primary DB. So you can have multiple read replicas for a single primary DB. So Amazon RDS allows you to create multiple read replicas for each primary database, enabling you to scale read capacity and distribute read traffic across multiple instances. Okay, fifth, improves performance and reduces read latency. By placing read replicas closer to your application's user, you can reduce read latency and improve the overall performance of your application. So read replicas can also serve the customer, but if they are only doing a read operation. Sixth, easy setup and management through Management Console. So setting up and managing cross-region replica is straightforward, again using Management Console. And you can create, pointer, and delete read replicas with just a few clicks. Pay only for additional storage and cross-region data transfer. With cross-region read replicas, you only pay for the additional storage consumed by the read replicas and cross-region data transfer fees, which makes it cost-effective solution for scaling read capacity. Okay, next we'll see database activity streams. So near real-time stream of database activity. This provides a near real-time stream of your activity in your Amazon RDS databases, allowing you to monitor and analyze database usage patterns and detect potential security threats. captures details of SQL statements. The feature captures detailed information about SQL statements executed against your database, including the text of the SQL statement and the time of execution and the user who executed it. Third, stores activity in Amazon Kinesis or CloudWatch. Database activity streams can store the captured activity in Amazon Kinesis data streams for real-time processing or in Amazon CloudWatch logs for long-term storage and analysis. Fourth, enables monitoring, auditing, and threat detection. So by analyzing the database activity streams, you can monitor database usage, audit access patterns, and detect potential security threats or anomalies in real time. Fifth, supports encryption for data security. Database activity streams supports encryption of the captured data using KMS, ensuring security and confidentiality of your database activity information. Integration with AWS services and third-party tools. So database activity streams you can integrate with various AWS services such as AWS Lambda and Amazon CloudWatch, as well as third-party log management and analytics tools for further analysis and alerting. Seventh, pay only for the data streamed and stored. So with a database activity stream, you only pay for the data that is streamed and stored in Amazon Kinesis data streams or the CloudWatch logs. So next feature is dual stack mode, IPv4 and IPv6 support. Supports both IPv4 and IPv6, and this allows your database instances to communicate using both IP protocol. Enables internal and external communication. So with dual stack mode, your RDS instances can communicate with both IPv4 and IPv6 resources within your VPC with external resources over the internet. So depending on your application, you can configure both the channels. Third, enhances security with network access control. So dual stack mode allows you to configure security group rules and network ACLs to control access to your RDS instances using both IPv4 and IPv6. Fourth, simplifies migration to IPv6. By enabling dual stack mode, you can smoothly migrate your applications to IPv6 without disrupting the existing IPv4 connectivity. Fifth, helps meet regulatory and compliance requirements. Dual stack mode assists in meeting regulatory and compliance requirements that mandate the use of IPv4 addressing for certain applications or industries. Sixth, easy to enable during DB instance creation. So you can easily enable dual stack mode when creating a new DB instance through the Amazon Management Console, CLI or API. Seventh, no additional cost for using dual stack mode. So there is no additional cost for using dual stack mode in Amazon RDS. You only pay for the resources you use, such as DB instance hours and data transfer. Okay, next feature, export Amazon RDS snapshots to Amazon S3. First, export manual or automated DB snapshots to S3. With the export to S3 feature, you can export your Amazon RDS database snapshots, manual or automated, to Amazon S3, enabling you to store the snapshots data externally and use it for various purposes. Second, supports one-time or recurring exports. You can set up one-time exports of your snapshots or configure recurring exports to automatically export snapshots to S3 on a schedule that you define. Third, encryption using AWS Key Management Service, KMS. The exported snapshots are encrypted using AWS Key Management Service, KMS, ensuring the security and confidentiality of your data at rest. Fourth, export to S3 bucket in the same or different AWS region. You can export snapshots to an S3 bucket in the same AWS region or as your RDS instance, or to a bucket in a different region, providing flexibility for data storage and disaster recovery scenarios. Fifth, store snapshots in Apache Parquet format. The exported snapshots are stored in the Apache Parquet format, a columnar storage format that provides efficient compression and encoding schemes for improved query performance. Sixth, query exported data using Amazon Athena, Redshift or EMR. Once the snapshots are exported to S3, you can directly query the data using services like Athena, Redshift or EMR, so thereby enabling powerful analytics and data processing capabilities. Seventh, pay only for S3 storage and data transfer cost. With the export to S3 feature, you only pay for the S3 storage consumed by your exported snapshots and any applicable data transfer cost. There are no additional charges for exporting the snapshots. Okay, next feature, IAM database authentication in Amazon RDS. 1. Authenticate using IAM users and roles. IAM database authentication allows you to authenticate to your Amazon RDS databases using AWS Identity and Access Management, users and roles, providing a secure and centralized way to manage access. Second, eliminates need for separate database credentials. By leveraging IAM authentication, you can eliminate the need to manage separate database usernames and passwords, simplifying the authentication process and reducing the risk of credential leakage. Third, centralized control over database access. IAM database authentication enables you to control access to your RDS environment from a central location, making it easier to manage and monitor database access across your AWS environment. Fourth, supports MySQL, PostgreSQL and Amazon Aurora. IAM database authentication is supported for MySQL, PostgreSQL and Amazon Aurora databases, providing a consistent authentication mechanism across different database engines. Fifth, enables temporary token-based authentication. With IAM database authentication, you can generate temporary authentication tokens using IAM users or roles, allowing for secure, short-lived access to your database. Sixth, integrates with IAM policies and permissions. You can use IAM policies to grant or restrict access to specific databases, tables or actions, providing fine-grained control over database permissions. So basically, through IAM policies, whatever you do in database, you can now write in IAM policies, and and you can create, like, have fine-grained control, but you will not directly manage in database. So this is like you can externalize from the database. Seventh, works with AWS SDKs and database connectors. IAM database authentication seamlessly integrates with AWS SDKs and database connectors, making it easy to incorporate in your application code and development workflows. Okay, next is Kerberos authentication in Amazon RDS. First, support for Kerberos authentication. Amazon RDS supports Kerberos authentication, allowing you to authenticate database users using Kerberos tickets, providing a secure and centralized authentication mechanism. Second, enables single sign-on with Microsoft AD. Kerberos authentication in Amazon RDS enables single sign-on with Microsoft AD, simplifying user access management and reducing the need for multiple credentials. Third, use Kerberos tickets for secure authentication. Kerberos authentication using Kerberos tickets, which are encrypted and time limited, helps you securely authenticate users and grant access. Fourth, supports external Kerberos authentication providers. So Amazon RDS supports the use of external Kerberos authentication providers such as Domain Services, Microsoft AD Active Directory Domain Services, or MIT Kerberos, which allows you to leverage your existing Kerberos infrastructure. And it's applicable for Amazon RDS for PostgreSQL and MySQL. So this is available for only Amazon RDS instances running PostgreSQL or MySQL. Requires Kerberos infrastructure setup. So to use Kerberos authentication with RDS, you need to first set up and configure the necessary Kerberos infrastructure, including a key distribution center KDC and Kerberos realm. Seventh, seamless integration with client applications. Kerberos authentication seamlessly integrates with clients applications that support Kerberos, allowing users to authenticate using their Kerberos credentials without the need for separate database specific credentials. Okay, next feature is multi-AZ database clusters in Amazon RDS. First, automatic replication across multiple availability zones. So multi-AZ DB clusters. So basically the DB cluster is set up is distributed amongst multiple availability zone. Multi-AZ DB clusters automatically replicate data across multiple availability zones within one single AWS region, providing high availability and data durability. Second, synchronous data replication to standby instances. Data is synchronously replicated from the primary DB instances to standby instances in different AZs, ensuring that the standby instances are always up to date. Third, automatic failover to healthy instances. If the primary database instance becomes unavailable, Amazon RDS automatically fails over to a healthy standby instance, minimizing downtime and ensuring business continuity. Fourth, improved read scalability with read replicas. Multi-AZ DB clusters support the creation of read replicas, which can be used to offload read traffic from the primary instance and improve overall read performance. Fifth, automatic backups and patching across instances. Amazon RDS automatically performs backups and applies software patches across all instances in the multi-AZ DB cluster, simplifying maintenance and ensuring data consistency. Sixth, supports Aurora, MySQL and PostgreSQL engines. Multi-AZ DB clusters are available for Amazon Aurora, MySQL and PostgreSQL. Because these are like mostly popular and open source, so that's why the support is mostly, you will see all the newer features, these will be like it will show up more and more. MySQL, PostgreSQL, you will see less and less of like DB2 or Oracle or Microsoft SQL Server. Seventh, pay only for primary instance hours and storage. With multi-AZ DB clusters, you only pay for the primary DB instance hours and the storage consumed by your data. Standby instances are included at no additional cost. Okay, next feature is Performance Insights, which is to monitoring and optimizing for Amazon RDS. First, real-time performance metrics and visualizations. Performance Insights provides real-time visibility into the performance of your Amazon RDS databases, offering metrics and visualization that helps you identify bottlenecks and optimize performance. Automatic detection of performance issues. The tool automatically detects and highlights performance issues such as high CPU utilization, I/O bottlenecks, or slow queries, making it easier to pinpoint and resolve problems. Third, detailed analysis of database load and queries. Performance Insights offer detailed analysis of database load and the queries contributing to that load, enabling you to identify the most resource-intensive queries and optimize them for better performance. Fourth, historical data retention for up to 2 years. Performance Insights retains historical performance data for up to 2 years, allowing you to analyze long-term trends, compare performance over time, and make informed decisions about scaling and optimization. Fifth, integration with AWS management tools. The feature integrates seamlessly with other AWS management tools such as Amazon CloudWatch and AWS CloudTrail, enable you to monitor, log, and analyze database performance alongside other AWS resources. Sixth, secure access control with IAM policies. Access to Performance Insights is controlled through AWS Identity and Access Management policies, ensuring that only authorized users can view and analyze performance data. Seventh, no additional cost for using Performance Insights. Performance Insights is available at no additional cost for supported Amazon RDS database engines, which makes it a cost-effective solution for monitoring and optimizing. Okay, next is RDS Custom, next feature, which is a tailored control for Amazon RDS. First, customizable database environment. RDS Custom allows you to create a customizable database environment with full access to the underlying operating system, enabling you to install custom patches, packages, and configurations. 2. Access to the underlying operating system. With RDS Custom, you have a secure shell SSH access to the underlying operating system, giving you the flexibility to customize the database environment according to your specific requirements. Full control over database and OS. RDS Custom provides you with full control over the database engine and operating system, allowing you to fine-tune settings, install custom software, and apply specific optimizations. Fourth, supports custom patching and configuration. You can apply custom patches and configurations to the database engine and operating system, enabling you to address specific compatibility requirements or performance optimizations. Fifth, ideal for legacy and packaged applications. RDS Custom is particularly suitable for legacy, custom, or packaged applications that require specific database engine versions, OS level packages, or custom configurations. Sixth, automated monitoring, backups, and recovery. Despite the customization option, RDS Custom still provides essential RDS features such as automated monitoring, backups, and recovery. Seventh, pay only for the resources consumed. With RDS Custom, you pay only for the compute, storage, and I/O resources consumed by your database instances, making it a cost-effective solution for customized database environments. And eighth, network setting adjustments. So it allows for adjustments to network settings, enabling better integration with on-premises environments and compliance with specific networking policies. Okay, next feature is Amazon RDS Proxy. First, fully managed database proxy for Amazon RDS. Amazon RDS Proxy is a fully managed, highly available database proxy for the Amazon RDS that sits between your application and the database, efficiently managing connections and improving scalability. So it's like a layer between your application and the DB instances. Second, efficiently manages and scale database connection. RDS Proxy automatically manages and scales database connection, allowing your applications to handle thousands of concurrent connections while minimizing the impact on database performance. Third, enhances application security with IAM authentication. With RDS Proxy, you can use AWS Identity and Access Management to authenticate database access, providing an additional layer of security for your application. Fourth, reduces the impact of failover events. RDS Proxy minimizes the impact of database failover events by automatically connecting to the new primary instance, reducing downtime and ensuring application availability. Fifth, improves database efficiency and application performance. So by connection pooling and reusing database connections, RDS Proxy reduces the overhead associated with establishing new connections, improving overall database efficiency and application performance. Sixth, compatible with MySQL and PostgreSQL engines. Amazon RDS Proxy is compatible with MySQL and PostgreSQL, which okay, so next, seventh one, pay only for the RDS Proxy resources consumed. With Amazon RDS Proxy, you only pay for the resources consumed by the proxy, such as the number of connections and the amount of data processed, making it a cost-effective solution for managing database connections. Okay, next feature is Secrets Manager integration with Amazon RDS. First one, securely store and manage database credentials. AWS Secrets Manager allows you to securely store and manage database credentials such as usernames and passwords for your RDS instances, ensuring sensitive information is protected. Automatic rotation of database secrets. Secrets Manager enables you to configure automatic rotation of your database secrets, reducing the risk of unauthorized access and ensuring that credentials are regularly updated. Access secrets via APIs or AWS SDKs. You can retrieve database secrets stored in Secrets Manager using the Secrets Manager API or AWS SDKs, making it easy to integrate secrets management into your application code. Fourth, seamless integration with Amazon RDS. Secrets Manager seamlessly integrates with RDS, allowing you to associate secrets with your RDS instances and manage them centrally. Fifth, eliminates hard-coded credentials in the application code. By using Secrets Manager, you can eliminate the need to hard-code database credentials in your application code, reducing the risk of accidental exposure and improved security. Sixth, encrypt secrets using AWS KMS keys. Secrets Manager encrypts your database secrets using AWS Key Management Service KMS keys, providing an additional layer of security and ensuring that secrets are protected at rest. Centralized secrets management for multiple RDS instances. So with Secrets Manager, you can centrally manage secrets for multiple Amazon RDS instances, simplifying the secrets management and ensuring consistency across your database environment. Okay, next is database instance billing for Amazon RDS. So first, pay only for the resources consumed. With Amazon RDS, you pay only for the database instance hours. storage and data transfer that you actually consume, allowing you for cost optimization and flexibility. Second, you are charged on a per second basis. DB instances are built on a per second basis with a minimum of 10 minutes, ensuring that you only pay for the precise time your database instances are running. Third, multiple pricing options available. Amazon RDS offers various pricing options including on-demand instances, reserved instances, and spot instances, allowing you to connect the most cost-effective option based on your workload requirements. Fourth, storage built separately based on allocated size. Storage for your DB instances is built separately based on the amount of storage space you have provisioned, regardless of the amount of space actually used. Fifth, data transfer out incurs additional charge. So data transfer out, not inbound, outbound. Data transfer out of your DB instances to the internet or other AWS regions also, so other regions as well, incurs additional charges billed based on the amount of data transferred. No charge for data transfer in. So there is no additional charge for data transfer into your data DB instances from the internet or other AWS services within the same region. Seventh, reserved instances offer significant savings by committing to a specific DB instance configuration and term 1 or 3 years. You can purchase reserved instances and benefit from significant cost savings compared to the on-demand pricing. And that's all. Thanks for watching.